Alright YouTube, what is going on? My name is Bigfoot. Welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever here on White Valley. In today's episode number 22, we are going to go ahead and address the issues somehow we didn't get around to in episodes 21 and 22, which is dealing with this fuel issue and stuff to do with going into Coburn. Coburn has drastically improved, as we know, however it's still not anywhere near where I want it to be in the general area. Too many trucks when there's so much rail, and I also want to go ahead and start off this episode on a little bit of a different note actually. We're going to go ahead and check out, one, how the HSTs are doing, because they went down in the last episode, and I sort of just didn't go back to them, which was kind of weird. And I guess I want to go ahead and actually connect up some more towns with roads as well. So we'll go ahead and do that. Anyway, so the HSTs, let's start with them today, now that the intro is out of the way. So, they are doing quite well with regards to carrying our passengers around, obviously up to Spalding right now. There's not too much demand, however that will change, and trust me it will in maybe about 3 or 4 episodes time, because I'm going to connect Spalding up from the other side, but I'll talk about that in 2 or 3 minutes. Still large waits. For example, here at the town of Bangor, which Bangor's always been the problem. It's the one just before Hampstead, which is a real shame. I'm starting to, I don't think the trains are very well spread out. That is one of my issues as well. All the trains are currently going in one direction, so we'll come back and hopefully that'll sort itself out at a later stage. However, I can go ahead and do it manually, and I may have to. Okay, so I want to go ahead and connect up this town down here as well, Newton Abbot, because I just feel like it, I really do. I think with the success of the bus route that we've got from Hetton to the town of Coburn, I think it is time to revive the bus, and I'm never going to have a profitable railway line going from here, Hetton right now anyway, to Newton Abbot. No way at all. Anywhere really, I don't think I can have a bus route going from Hetton to that part of the world. Thaxted is possibly justified, but I would have to go up and over this hill here, which that's not going to be easy at all, so for the time being, I don't feel it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a bus route to Hetton, or from Hetton, all the way down to Newton Abbot. And we're just going to build some more roads is really what we're going to go ahead and do. Okay, so we started building this like grand highway in the last episode. As we can see, we've got some buses going in between Hetton and Coburn. Wonder how they're actually doing as well. That's a very good question. Very well indeed, in fact, actually. Though it looks like most of them are quite full. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add an extra expanded fleet of these guys. So you're a road depot, which is great. So I'm going to add in an extra 5 buses, maybe even more than that. I just want to be able to build for the future. Now with this amount of people probably travelling on the buses, I could possibly now justify a train line. However, for the time being, I still want to keep the bus. So that's going to reduce it down to 49 seconds. That's also going to add in God knows how many extra seats, so this is all going to be extremely valuable and important. Anyway, what we're going to have is, this is the current road which we've got trucks on. Now we are going to remove these trucks quite shortly, but this is the route that the buses are going to go on, so I'm going to go ahead and start to make modifications anyway. So let me go ahead and cut that back. We're going to go ahead and upgrade this road as well. I'm going to make it more of a super highway, a large country road. Even though it'll never have the demand for this, I want it to have a large country road. Let's go ahead and drag you from there over to there like so. Now at this stage here, this is going to change, and we're going to be putting in a goods train station round about here soon, which should be a little bit more efficient along to this fuel processing plant. We're then going to continue down this road, and down this road there is a farm, which is quite nice. However, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and essentially bypass the farm, which we're going to do. We're going to take out some of these fields, and then we're going to have a junction round about this river basin here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the road from here, or I'm actually going to cut this back. We'll reattach the farm on, and eventually I do want to start harvesting from this farm. But I just want to continue this road right along by the water here. I can go ahead and reconnect that up. I just realised that is the wrong kind of road. That's a intercity, or that's an inside a city road, and we're wanting a country road. So let's go ahead and continue this down here, right along by the river, which is nice, through the trees, and then we come out here. What we're going to do is we're going to build a bridge, which we can actually get a boat under, which is nice. And then here is where we're going to have our junction. So there's going to be a road going over there to a town called Thaxt, which is not too far upriver, and then this other one here is going to go to Newton Abbot. So what I will have is I will also have a junction here as well. I'm going to have a bus stop, and I'm going to have the buses come to here. Actually, that's what I could do. So I can have a bus come into this junction, and then, or this junction over here, sorry, and then what I'll have is I'll have separate buses going to Thax and separate buses going to Newton Abbot. Now, long term, yes, we can have a railway, but realistically, this is a flying distance. It is such a long way without a passing stop, if you will, that it could be very much a possible flying route, though I really need the population to improve in the town here. I really, really do. It's something which would need to drastically go ahead and happen anyway. Alright, so that's that built into Newton Abbot. Nice new roads. Then we're going to go ahead and also do the same. Thaxt is just down the river here, so again it is quite an easy drive. Let's have a nice wee curve if we can, coming around along the river. I wish this would just be fixed. I don't know what the issue is, or if I'm drawing it wrong or whatever, but hey ho. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you to come into here, like so. Now we're on the side of a mountain here, though this shouldn't be too much of a problem. We'll go ahead and cut this road back. And then as we can see, this will take us perfectly into town, but this town is dead, for example. It's not dead, but it's so quiet. As we can see, it's got very poor transport connections, very poor everything in actual fact. So that is something which we will need to go ahead and consider. What we'll do is we'll build that with a tunnel there, and voila. So that is our new roads built. So the next thing I'm going to do now is go ahead and set up a bus station here. Now the good thing is we can have a bus station. This means people can also travel in between the towns of Newton Abbot and Thaxt, which is also going to be advantageous to ourselves. So let me go ahead, and there's going to be actually 3 individual routes coming into this place, so we can go ahead and have a relatively large platform station. It's so random having one in the middle of nowhere, but this is going to be a very significant junction going forwards. With that built, we can now go ahead and start to plan out the 2 towns. I know how we're going to do Hetton. Hetton's quite an easy build. However, for Newton Abbot, it's going to be a little bit different. So it does have a train station, and I plan to build out that train station. This will eventually connect up to Spalding. Could be quite shortly, actually, depending on how this town grows. But again, I'm just wanting to connect up some more towns. So what we'll have is we'll have a bus stop on the edge of town. We'll then come right into the middle. Then come up this main street here. We will then come along... Yeah, I think that could be it, actually. Or what we could do is we could almost go around the town. Or would that do? That would do. And then we'll have our terminus. We'll have a terminus right beside the train station over here. This is where it would terminate, which is fine. So, a few stops in town. Nothing too much, though. I will actually go ahead and add in an additional one, just for the sake of it. Just because, I mean, there's no real traffic worries at all in this town yet, which is fine. So that's 2 in the centre. So that's that town sorted. And then if we come over here to Thaxt, Thaxt a little bit more straightforward just because it is a straight street. So one before the crossing, one in the middle of this street. Then we can... That's the thing actually, I would like to realistically have a stop maybe here, a stop here, a stop here, and then it come along and finish on this road here. We could have it finish perfectly actually and create this as a turning circle, which would be marvellous. Okay, so there we go, so let's have you into there, and that is pretty much perfect, so we'll go ahead and add in another stop there. So now we can go ahead and create our bus routes. So at this end here, if we jump into buses and we go ahead and select, let's exit out of, let's press the exit button, let's exit out of that. Let's go ahead and jump into line manager is what I want. So let's go ahead and build, so let's do line number 1, which is going to go from there, come into the town of Thax and basically do the route that I just went ahead and planned out. So along to the avenue, and then you're going to do a turning circle, and then let's just list all the stops on the way back as well, which is nice. York Road, the Crescent, and then finally the Grove. So this is going to be an interesting bus because it's actually only going, it's not going from 2 towns. Essentially, yes, it is going to Hetton, or from Hetton, so we'll go ahead and call it the Hetton to, this is the town of Thaxt, I believe that's how you spell it. Yeah, it is, perfect. So that's the first bus route created. Now we'll go ahead and do another green one, which will go to Newton Abbot, which is interesting. So this one's got a lot less stops, though again we probably could expand it if there is the demand. I'm not really at all sure what the demand is going to be at all here, to be honest, actually. You're going to be a bus, and you're going to be, we'll just call you Newton, which makes things a little bit easier. So with that said, now the final route I need to do is going into the town of Hetton, which should be a nice and easy feat, right? No. It won't be too bad, actually. What we'll do is we'll have you again run into the centre. You'll stop at the same stops that the bus over to the town of Hetton does. So, did you stop at the Grove there? You have called at the Grove, and then into there. And then we have... Oh, I've just thought of an ultimate upgrade as well. I've thought of a really, really good upgrade. So let's go ahead and build you along there. I need to sort this road out here, actually, because there's going to be a lot of traffic on this stretch if buses are stopping. Let's come along here, and let's go ahead and build a stop in at this area here. So that means people coming from, example, the town of Coburn who want to go down there, they don't have to go all the way into Hetton, they can switch here. Don't overly think this will be too popular, but I think it's worth it anyway. And what I think we should do is maybe go for a turning circle one. Would that be too overkill? No, let's try this actually. I want to try this, give this another go. So, what we'll do is we'll have you... So after stop 1, you need to come into here. And then after stop 9, you need to come into here. Which is fine. And then with regards to the other route we want to modify, I need to name this actually. So that's going to be the B, Hetton... Then it's going to be Newton/Thaxt, which is nice. Okay, so that's that route. I want to go ahead and get the Coburn to come in via here as well. So I mean, this is really strange. It's like the revival of the bus. Quite cool. So after 3, you're going to come into here. I realise this is going to reduce the frequency times, which maybe isn't great. And then before 12... So that means after High Street, 12, and then 13, which is perfect. So we should now start to see, after this next bus coming along, should hopefully serve this stop here. Right now it's redundant until we get all 3 of our other bus routes up and going. However, it should be quite exciting. Okay, so with that said, this is, I mean, it's the biggest bus project we've ever done since the start of the episode, or the start of the series, should I say. And even at the start of the series, it wasn't, the amount of buses we're going to be buying right now, we wouldn't have bought. It is just nice to go ahead and go back to some traditional ways, because very much it is all at this stage the same. It's all trains and trams, but it's nice. I want to start to go ahead and look at flying. We've also got rivers here as well. Not that I don't think there's too many river opportunities, but maybe there is for goods. Oh, right, now I've had the best thought, and you've probably just maybe had it with me as well, with what's behind us, between the fuel, the crude oil, and then the fuel processing depot as well. Okay, so for this, what we're going to do is we're going to go for some blue buses. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of these are going to come from Hetton. So that's going to go on that route there. Then with regards to the other 2 routes, I think there's going to be about 4 buses, I think, on each. So it's basically just splitting the load, plus it's such a shorter distance anyway that... Or we could go, I think we should maybe go for something smaller, like the City Bus 1. Or we could go for the Saurer Toucher, the Saurer DUK5, or the Mercedes-Benz, the good old... I mean, you can only carry 15, I feel I need a bit more than that. What about the MAN SL? Only 16. We have the Berghoff. I mean, that's a bendy bus. I could just go... I'm gonna... Actually, no, we're gonna go with the City Bus, I think. City Bus, I think, is a good one. So let's go for 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. And let's put 4 of them onto the Hetton Thaxt, and then we'll get some green ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll go ahead and put you guys onto the be Newton, which should be Newton. So we'll need to go ahead and make that change very, very quickly indeed. So you're going to be B, and you're going to be... If I can hit the caps lock button, that would be great. So Hessen to Newton. Right, okay, so there we go. That's quite a change. So, I mean, this is going to take quite a while, and it's so random having this in the middle of nowhere, eh? It's going to be some thumbnail. But outside of that, I mean, it's just different. It's something exciting. I also never realised the fountain did this. The fountain looks frozen though, so... That's cool. Never realised that. That must be new, because I swear I've never noticed that before, and I think that would be something I would notice. But anyway, hopefully this will really take off and help promote unconnected towns, because that's what I'm going for. Okay, so with that said, what I said there was, slow down, was that we're having inefficiency. We'll start off with this route here, because if we have a look here, we can see that there's trucks going from here, taking crude oil, which is being produced, and bringing it along here. However, it is very inefficient, so we can either transport it by train, which I'm realistically am going to do, or we can do it by boat. Now, by boat, if I was to do it by boat, it could quite easily work actually, but it just depends how much I can carry in a boat, because I know I can carry a lot on a train. A large amount on a train. It'd be a very, very short train, but it could do the trick. Let's go into boats, let's go into... I actually just need to go ahead and look at the kinds of boats. Arguably, I don't have a lot of boats in the workshop, but it's something I would be considering looking at. So let's filter by freight. So the Merlin is good. The Merlin is very good, but you cannot unfortunately carry liquids, which is a downfall. Nor can you in actual fact, which is not good. I need crude oil, but you can't carry crude oil. Can any boats carry crude oil? Is it illegal to carry crude oil? Oh no, you can. And that's good. Alright, I mean, I'd be willing to actually give boats a go. I mean, why not? We might as well. Instead of trucks anyway, I'll get rid of... I could do trains as well, but I'd quite like to do something different, you know? Something a little bit crazy. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's introduce our first boat. I mean, what an episode. You thought you were going to come and see trains and trams today, but you're seeing buses and boats. What is this about? Next they'll be building planes. We should do that. Nah, I'm joking. Calm down. Alright, okay, let's go ahead and see what we've got here. So we've got the traditional freight port. Again, not got any other ones, which is a shame. But let's go ahead and take that. The one thing I do need to be concerned about is how navigatable are these waters, because it's quite thin and quite shallow. So this is another view I've not looked at in ages. It's definitely, it's not achievable with this current bridge, but I can realign the bridge quite easily. Especially this bit here. This bit is very, very difficult, but I should be able to get around this no problem. Hopefully it will work. Okay, so that's the ferry terminal built. So now what we can do is we can build a country road which goes from there to there. Oh no, I built before I closed. Come on. Right, there we go. So now if I build, or select the Hetton transfer, as we can see, this crude oil field is in the sphere of influence. So that's this end done. Now, I'll have to realign the bridge, and I'll do that first. Or no, I'll actually... this road's really close. You have to do quite a bit of work here, actually. So first of all, let's go ahead and close this bridge for the time being. So as we can see, there is navigatable water right through there. Gonna have to pause this a second. And we're going to go ahead and cut this back a bit, because this is where I want the new ferry terminal. Really close connection to here. So what we're going to do is jump into ferry terminals. Let's see what we can do here. So we can get that in quite far back. Yes, we can actually, which is nice. So let's do that to there. So now all we need to do the modification is, first of all, I need to make sure it's in sphere of influence of here. Which could be fun. I am not liking the look of this. I think I need to move it further downriver actually, so let's do that quickly. Let's put you more in... there, I think. There would be the best. So now if I go ahead and I build a road between here and there, though that's not going to allow me, let's do a smaller one, but too much slope. There's not too much slope there. I'm sorry, but there's not. Build you to there. And then build you into there like that. So you're in sphere of influence, so this should work. Hypothetically, this should work. Let's go ahead and reinstate the road that I had previously, which is fine. You can hardly notice the difference, to be honest. I've just added in water ports here. I mean, you don't really get any other kinds of ports, so land ports, water ports, yeah, it'll do the trick. Okay, so with that change now, we can actually go ahead and put on a boat and see if it works. I don't know how effective it's going to be. It probably isn't the most efficient at all. The train would be, but I would like to go ahead and just, as I said, do something a little bit different for once. So it is the Viola, I believe, is the boat. So let's go ahead and buy 2 of these, set them to automatic, and let's go ahead and create a new line. That's probably a good idea. So let's go from Hetton Transfer up to the Thaxted Halt. So you're actually geographically closer to Thaxted, which is interesting. You're going to be the BT for boat 2, and then it's going to be, I don't know, we're just going to call you Crude Oil, probably? I mean, I really don't have any naming principles for boats, because I've rarely had a lot of boats. We had maybe 5 or 6 hovercraft routes on the... Oh, what was it? It must have been the Grand Canyon, and then with Scotland we did have a few as well, going from like Dundee to maybe Berwick, and maybe that was it, to be honest. We really didn't have a lot. But the one thing I do need to do now is go ahead and sort this bridge. That is one thing which I will need to do. Not that it gets used very often, but it still needs to have a connection. So let's go ahead and build this up like so. Then what we'll do is we'll have this come across here. Lower that down a bit though, like that. Have a nice curved bridge. And then have you just come down there like that. So this is the new bridge. It's not that bad looking actually. It could be passed as not bad. I could make it better, but it will do. Just a very quick project. And as we can see, that's that sorted. So, not too bad. It'll do, it'll do. I don't really know where this goes to actually. Does it go to anywhere? We're not connected up to any of this yet, which is quite crazy. So, again, something I might want to tap into at some point, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, HSTs are too full, I believe. So you're about to go into... Yeah, but you're just too grouped together. That's the problem. There's now a large queue waiting to go the other way. So the thing is, all the trains are too grouped together, so I'm going to have to manually do this. There must be a train right now at Southgate. Wait, how profitable is this route? Because I could just add more trains. That would maybe be better. It's not very profitable at all, but the frequency's awful. I do really want to keep these, but I've got a feeling I might go ahead and take the decision to maybe have a train from Hampstead to Bangor and then make it from Bangor maybe to Spalding. Because Spalding and Southgate really don't have the demand that Bangor does have. Bangor's a much larger city. It's got 1,700 people, whereas Southgate has 1,500 people. Spalding must only have about 800, by my guess. No, okay, so it's at 1,000 now. I will leave it. I'll deal with that off camera, I'll tell you that, because it could take some time. Right, how are our new bus routes doing? Are they doing any good? No one waiting here, which is not good. There's 11 going off to Newton, though, which is that's a good sight to see. With regards to coming out here, there's 19 people on that bus. How many people are off into Newton Abbot? 2, okay. Not too bad. What about here? There's 36 people coming out, so there is potential here, a lot of potential, which I'm liking to see. Right, okay, now the one problem is if we've got boats on here, then we no longer really need trucks, do we? There's going to be nothing for the boats to take. It looks like the production has increased drastically here, but the problem is it's not actually falling to the harbour, it's actually falling on the trucks, which is not good at all, or not what I'm wanting to say the least. So we're going to go ahead and actually just remove this route. I don't think it's overly profitable anyway, so... Hetton Crude Oil, it probably is actually. Yeah, 2 million. What we're going to do is we're going to sell all the vehicles and we're going to scrap the route. So now we're dependent on the boats, and that's what I wanted to see very much so. So we'll go ahead and we'll delete you, which is a very strange anomaly, because you've been here, this route has been here for a very long time, and we can also delete that there. Which is good. Get rid of this road, and we can go ahead and tidy up the terraforming a bit. I'm very much in between not at all sure. It must have been the last Coburn episode. I sorted out a lot of terraforming up there, just because it was looking quite messy, to be honest. And it is nice to go ahead and just go around the map and just tidy up some of the broken edges every now and then. It just makes you not remember about previous routes and just... I mean, there's not much point, if you get what I mean, with having previous routes. Anyway, right, this harbour is filling up fast. I might need another boat, actually. We'll put a third boat out, because I'm very happy. I do have the towns who need the oil, so I can quite easily go ahead and have 3 or 4 boats on this for the time being. We'll go ahead and buy one more, and we'll deploy you onto the BT Crude Oil. Now, I'm not at all sure how long it takes the boats to get from one end to another. That's the thing. Have you dropped anything off? You haven't, so you're going to be plummeting, which isn't good. So we're going to go ahead and speed this up and see how the boats get on. Now, per boat, you can carry, what, 252, so this should hopefully be really, really useful. This should clear quite a bit of this backlog, and you've got a nice and fast loading time. Arguably, yes, I am on ×3, but that should go ahead and help out and do the world of difference. As we can see right now, the route's at a loss. Frequency of 4 minutes, but hopefully that'll get better as time goes on. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is actually check how the 2 fuel trains are doing, because I've got a feeling they're not doing very well at all. Let's go ahead and check. So we've got G Coburn fuel. It's making a loss of 11 million. Really not good in the slightest. Not really at all sure why that is. It's got 2 trains, but we can arguably bring that down to 1 train, because you've only got 11 carriages on you. I can quite easily have 18 car trains now. Things have changed. And then the G Hampstead goods... Which, no, that's a different train. We need the Hampstead fuel. You're making a large loss. Again, you've got really small trains, which just doesn't make any sense at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to terminate a lot of these services. That's what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and build another engine house just at the back here. And let's go ahead and send some of these to the graveyard. These are old trains as well. Must have started about maybe episodes 9 or 10. These would have been introduced to the series. Chances are... No, okay, that's not. Okay, that's a different train. I was maybe thinking that, you know, one of these complaints could be to do with this route here. Right, actually, I do want to keep that up there, because I do need to resolve. That is an issue which I do need and want to resolve. So let's go ahead and build that there. So I want to go ahead and start to retire some trains. So as we can see here... Which one? Or we could just upgrade. I want to get rid of one, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get to... I want to sell you. So you just keep on going. Or you're going to go... And where are you going to get sold at, though? Because you're sort of just a runaway train now going the wrong way. Where are you going? Because you're holding everything up now, I think. You are... Did I sell the right train? No. I didn't. Right, reassign you. No, do not do that. I've really mucked this one up, haven't I? Waiting for free path. But you should now be going that way, shouldn't you? Alright, okay, so that's you back on track for now, which is fine. I need to wait until they get to the other end. For some reason, I think I seen it was in a station, and I was like, sell it ASAP. Right, so that's the other train coming in here. So, I mean, that's only got 26 fuel on it, which is just incredibly low. Not good enough in the slightest. I mean, this is some hill as well, which the trains have to navigate. They don't get to keep a lot of speed up here. I am going to go ahead and improve the line, though, in any way I can. And I'm definitely seeing a bit of a bend. Arguably, the trains probably come down quite fast, but I don't want to go ahead. And I'm probably going to have to leave that corner in for now, though. Okay, right, you know what, we'll leave it for now, and we'll just go by ear and see how things go. I quite like this junction, actually. This is quite cool. Splits off, goes over there. So that means we've not actually had to add in an extra railway line, which is good. Production is slowing down here, which isn't nice to see, but it really all depends on what's going on here, to be honest. The production is up here, so I just need better trains to carry more fuel. That's really what I need. Right, so this is one of the Coburn ones, so we're going to go ahead and sell you, and you should just run through and get sold. So this means now we can go ahead and take the current one, which we've still got, and we can go ahead and upgrade this. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to keep the same style of locomotive, just because I believe they're the only ones in this series. I can't remember what they are. They're class like 103s or something along those lines. Whoa, I've got a magic brain, don't I? It's attractive effort that I'm really bothered about here. It's very, very important that we have a good tractive effort to get up the hill. I'm going to add 2 locomotives as well, just because of the fact I'm going to pull about, I don't know, 16, 17 cars up that hill. Just because of the longer stations, we might as well go ahead and do so. So let's go ahead and also now add on wagons. Let's go and filter by freight. And it's going to be our large fuel... Or no, we don't actually have the modded ones in here, do we? I mean, 15 is still pretty good. So let's go ahead and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 is going to be the magic number. Put automatic replacement on. Let's go ahead and replace this train right now. So this is the new train here. So as we can see, it fits in quite well, actually. Can probably take more, arguably, what do you call it? More tanks of fuel up the hill. I just want to see how fast it's going to go, though. That's the one thing. With 2 locomotives, I'd hope it would go quite fast. But then at the same time, I'm not 100% sure just based on the fact that this is some hill. It shouldn't be getting affected by the track speed at all. I mean, it's 186 all the way along there. This is going up the hill, so I mean, we're really getting a good speed going up our really sharp gradients. We are drastically having to slow down for this corner, though. So this is one area which I will try to sort out. And then again, it picks up a decent amount of speed, and then once it gets to the top of the hill, it should just shoot on through, which is good. I don't know how that's going to affect the profit margins, though, with regards to having 2 locomotives. Something that I've not really done, but I will happily try. I don't know if it is necessarily needed. I think it's better to have than not anyway, but as you can see, the train's coming into the station. We could quite easily get a few more wagons onto that if need be. At least get another 2, probably 3 actually. So I think while we're at this, I think we'll leave it for now, but that should hopefully go ahead. Instead of losing 11 million, should lose hardly anything now, which is good to see. We can now see quite a bit of build up here. A lot of it's for Coburn. How's the Hetton route doing? Hetton's actually doing better. Very much better, but I still want to go ahead and increase the trains. And actually sell one as well. That's what I want to do. So this one here, you're going to go and get sold. Go get sold. So we know now that we can have 18 wagons as well. Now, I wouldn't have 2 locomotives on this line because it's quite a flat line. So let's go ahead and jump into here. Let's go for... we're looking for locomotive, yes. We're looking for probably electrical. Is it these guys I have? No, it's not. It must be... Is it a diesel? Oh, it'll be one of these ones, won't it? But which one? I think it could be the R4/4IV. You've got a good tractive effort as well, so we'll go ahead and buy one of yous. What's the difference? No difference here at all. I think it's just in the colouring. So we'll go ahead and we'll take one of yous. Let's grab you, and then let's go ahead and get some wagons as well. Now we're going to go for the same wagons again. And then we're going to go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 this time. Go ahead and put that automatic and then replace now. So that should now hopefully go ahead and make a difference on that line as well. I'm quite excited about that. A lot of trains here not making a lot of money in the slightest, which is kind of worrying. So I do want to go ahead and make sure that is changed quite quickly. I can tell the reason is for the G Hetton goods is because we've got too many trains on it. There should only be one train on there now that the train is bigger. I think I did that as a panic once. Though, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, like we need to move more steel. So we'll go ahead and touch on all this in the next episode, ladies and gentlemen. We need more boats as well, amazingly, which is an amazing thing to see. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this episode up here, ladies and gentlemen. So, hope you have enjoyed it. Please leave a like, rate, and subscribe if you are new around here. Go down into that comment section below. Go ahead and give me some feedback about really what I'm up to in this series and what you'd like to see me continue into as I'm about to start my mass recording. Then on top of that as well, go ahead and follow me on Twitter and support me on Patreon. Links are in the description below. And that's all, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much for watching. My name is Bigfoot and I'm out.